Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. The Deputy Minister of Employment, Bright Rekubobe, says his outfit has been engaged by the Finance Ministry to spell out the modalities for the unemployment insurance scheme. The Finance Minister, when he presented the mid-year budget last week, indicated that government will set up an unemployment insurance scheme to support employees who have lost their jobs as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at the Joy Business Jobs and Salaries Roundtable today in Accra, Mr. Rekubobe also revealed the total number of people who have been made jobless as a result of the pandemic would be made known in the next couple of weeks.
That exists, and to that extent, we have some figures. You know, the law also mandates whichever institution, organization that is facing challenges, especially that of COVID, to, as it were, notify the Labor Department of how it intends to, if it has to even lay off people, if it has to go redundancy. So the burden is placed on the institution to get to the Labor Department with these kinds of information. To that extent, we have some, which I can churn out in the course of time. But that doesn't cover the entire country. It is those who have been able to get to the Labor Department and say, because of COVID, I have this challenge. So, I am laying off some of my workers. Then we get the numbers. But beyond that, that's why I'm saying we have commissioned a holistic study, and to be able to tell the story of the whole country and let the people know that these are the effects of the COVID unemployment, and that will come in the next couple of weeks.
Honorable.
Now, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu has served notice his side of the House who pushed for a vote of censure to remove the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta for breach of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which prohibits expenditure deficit beyond 5% of GDP. The bill is categorical that Parliament should pass a vote of censure to remove the Finance Minister if he overspends. Although the Finance Minister has admitted to this, he says COVID-19 related challenges have made it inevitable. The Finance Minister yesterday laid a paper in Parliament requesting a suspension of the act, but Haruna Idrisu says the minister must be sanctioned.
Also respectively now refer you to another quote. I just saw the Majority Leader lay a paper. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 444, very significant. I wish the Minister for Finance himself is here. Request for approval of supplementary estimates, what I refer to as the variation in the figures, 109.9 billion. You are asking for 11.8 billion when your expenditure plan only accounts for 53 billion. We need explanations for that. But Mr. Speaker, respectively, let me refer you to paragraph 438. Unthinkable and unimaginable. Instead of doing what is needful under the Public Financial Management Act, the minister is coming for what he calls, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, from development thus far, it is clear that the fiscal rules of a deficit not exceeding 5% of GDP and a positive primary balance enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2018, Act 982, are neither feasible nor attainable. When? Is it only for 2020 or is it only for 2020 or 2019, 2018, 2017? Were we within the regime of fiscal deficit? What he himself said in the law was that if he exceeds the fiscal deficit of 5%, he will go home, and that he should be sanctioned. So to evade the sanctions, he has come that Parliament should suspend the law. We will not suspend the law. He will undergo the sanctions spelled out in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. He defined it for himself.
Well, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been responding to this. He says the move was inevitable.
I mean, if you read the act, it says what? Catastrophe, force majeure. Are you suggesting I could have prevented the pandemic? I'm just asking.
Do you think you could have cut other expenditures?
I could have avoided I could have avoided oil prices. And then what would you when you look at the care and the CAP program, what did we spend the money on? the lockdown period, the average Ghanaian not being able to access food, lifeline, electricity. I mean, the issue of governance is to make sure that you keep your people alive. It's very easy to say cut it out until you see people on the street. This is a government that cares and will not compromise the lives of our people in any way. Thank you.
And that's it for business. We have a full bulletin coming up at 1 o'clock. Up next, sports.